In this cauldron of fiery wills and burning competition, rivalries heat up quicker. This is an oval of stolen victories and crushed dreams, filled with volumes of unfinished business. Sooner or later, you all become rivals. With everyone fighting over one finish line, there's never enough glory to go around.
All right, welcome one, welcome all to Pit Stop Insider TV once again. Kind of a special broadcast out here tonight. We don't normally hang around on iRacing on Monday nights, at least not to broadcast. But tonight, Monday Night Thunder has been kind enough to lend us the night, otherwise known as NMNTS. They're gearing up for the last four races of the season over here in NMNTS, and they decided to throw this fun race in for us at Daytona, picturesque as always here in Daytona Beach, Florida. And once again, this is a totally fun race, no points involved or anything, but if you're looking for somewhere to either race on iRacing or tune in on every Monday night in 2018 to watch some amazing racing, honestly, Monday Night Thunder is the place to do it. We will have the super late models on Sundays, the trucks on Mondays, and IndyCar on Tuesdays next year. So I just want to get that out of the way. We're here, like I said, at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida. And it's going to be a 100 lap race. There's going to be 3 stages, just like in NASCAR, but the stage lengths are going to be different than you might have seen in this year's NASCAR truck race. It's going to be 40 laps for stages 1 and 2 each. So that's 40 and 40. And then a 20 lap final stage. So without further ado, I think we might have a certain Bradley Wilson joining us in just a few. Now, as we wait for qualifying to finish up here, looks like we're going to have about a 20 car field tonight at Daytona, or 20 truck field rather. And right now, we're just waiting on these guys to get their qualifying laps out of the way. It's single qualifying, so if you don't know what that means on iRacing, whenever a lobby is set up for single qualifying, basically, if you are in the race, you can't spectate other drivers so that you can't get that advantage. There is a setting where you can run open qualifying, but tonight it is not set that way, so we can't watch qualifying. So it's going to be a bit of a less thrilling first bit to the broadcast here tonight. But in just a few moments, we're going to have an explanation as to just what the league is and what this event is. And so first off, we're going to have Bradley Wilson. Bradley, oh, sorry, Bradley Wilson, welcome up to the PSI TV booth. You are kind of the guy that makes this all run over here at NMNTS, and if you care, or if you sorry, if you'd like, just go ahead and give us a quick explanation as to what exactly NMNTS is, what exactly this event is, and what we can expect tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Thanks for having me up here, and thanks for putting this on for us. Uh, the NMNTS is a league that started on the console a couple years ago. We moved to iRacing, been here for, this will be our second complete season. This is the Monday Night Thunder series, which is our premier series. It follows the Camping World Truck schedule pretty closely with some added dates. Full-length races, fixed series, Runs Monday night, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. We also have a super late model series that we'll be running in 2018, as well as an IndyCar series. So kind of do it all around. A lot of mixture of things we do and do well. I would like to think, but yeah, just a lot of fun. Tonight's just a fun race, testing out some things for 2018. Got some big things planned. SimSpec PC is going to come on board with us as our title sponsor. Be giving away a $2,700 gaming PC to next year's champion, as well as weekly payouts. So yeah, a lot of big things coming next season. We're looking forward to.
For sure. Well, want to thank you first off just for allowing me to come up here and show this event off tonight. Should be a wild one. Like I already mentioned to the viewers, we've got 100 laps tonight. It is stage racing, and we've got two 40-lap stages each, followed by a 20-lap shootout to the end. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. You are correct. 40 laps. End of lap 40, we're going to throw a caution. End of lap 80, we're going to throw a caution. Then we're going to shoot out to the end. See who can bring home some bragging rights tonight. The non-points event, just strictly for some bragging rights.
All right, well, certainly sounds good. I believe we're getting to that point where we might be able to get to talk to some drivers post-qualifying here. Am I correct there?
Yeah, looks like Robbie Buckner's going to be your pole sitter tonight.
All right, well, definitely congratulations to him. I'll move you back down, and I'll try and drag some drivers inside.
All right, thanks, brother. Have a good one.
Thanks for coming up. All right, so that was straight from the horse's mouth, I guess. That was Bradley Wilson giving us a quick explanation as to what this all is. Probably a better explanation than I gave it first. So with that aside, we're going to go ahead and drag in tonight's pole sitter. Actually, we can't. I'll have to message him. TeamSpeak issues. So we'll move aside. I think second place. Oh, there we go. We got it. All right. Let's see here. Robbie Buckner. Sorry. So if you don't know, I mean, this is internet stuff, and iRacing and TeamSpeak works a bit interestingly. Just want to get that out of the way. Having a slight problem or two. We'll get Robbie in here in just a second, though. All right, Robbie Buckner. This is Andrew up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy, Andrew. What's going on, buddy?
Well, not a whole lot going for me just yet, but you just went out there, laid it on the table, and ran first for qualifying. What's that spell for you tonight?
Hopefully it spells good things, man. This is a new package for WFO going into 2018, so we're testing out a couple things tonight. So far, so good. Led practice, led qualifying, looks like. First pole. Good night so far. Definitely want to thank my buddy Terry, lives in Hickory. They had tornadoes come through their town today, so hopefully everything's all right on his end.
For sure. Well, prayers go out to Terry Mason. He did you say he may actually be joining us up here in a few?
He just got power back. He texted me, said he got power back, and if you're more than willing to have him up there with you, he'd like to come with you tonight.
For sure. We had him up here for NMNTS Dirt a couple weeks back, so would definitely love to have him up here if you can relay that message. But on the iRacing side of things, be more specific to the race at the moment. Anyway, congratulations to you on the pole. Looks like you got a huge pack of hungry dogs right behind you, though, just 6/100th of a second off you. So certainly by no means going to be a walk in the park, but definitely good on you to get that pole, and definitely says something about you.
Heck yeah, man. We're going to let the rough side drag and show everybody what WFO's got in store for 2018.
All right. Sounds good, man. Well, I can't move you in TeamSpeak, but you can move yourself, I guess. Kind of one of those quirks coming on iRacing broadcasting these things. But good luck in the race tonight. Definitely wish you the best.
All right, brother. Good luck to you guys tonight, too, man.
And now we're going to see if we can't drag aside P2, Mike Bruno. Mike Bruno is in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you.
Well, the guys over at No Brakes are a lot more used to seeing you up in the front than over at PSI TV, but I mean, you're certainly not letting up at all. You went out there qualified second, just a little bit behind Robbie. Certainly spells something good for you tonight, I'd say.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Kind of get in here a little quick, but it's Daytona, man. Trying to put a good lap down and either stay up front or stay in the back and wait till the end to come up front. You know how that goes. But just gonna have some fun tonight and see how it goes, see how the stage racing goes, and hopefully get a win.
For sure. Well, I know you're sponsored by SimSpec TV, but not all the viewers over here on this other channel are going to know what that is. So if you could explain what SimSpec TV is, that would be helpful.
Yeah, it's SimSpec PC. It's just a computer company. He sells really nice high-grade computers. If you want to get one, go to simspecpc.com or simspec.com and get yourself hooked up, get on iRacing, get racing with us, and have a lot of fun.
All right, well, that sounds great. I'm going to move back up, let you get ready with your team for tonight's event. Definitely wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we're talking to you later on.
Thanks, Andrew.
Once again, that was Mike Bruno. First, we had Robbie Buckner up. He'll be in the number 90 on pole tonight. Mike Bruno will be in the number 19 SimSpec Chevrolet Silverado. He will be gridding P2. Let's see who we can drag aside next. I'd say Blake Fallone, who's gridding up 6th place, may be a good one to talk to. Blake Fallone, this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, Andrew, I do.
All right, well, you're a totally new face for us over at PSI TV. I may know you personally, but the viewers don't. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're planning to do tonight, that'd be really helpful.
Okay, well, my name's Blake Sloan. I live in beautiful Tampa, Florida, just a couple hours out of Daytona. And for tonight is to, just try to keep it clean. I'm not one of the guys who likes to drop to the back just because I had a tendency to lose the draft and nothing like that. So we're just going to try and keep it clean, stay with people I can trust, and see how this whole stage racing changes the complexion of the races that we typically have.
All right, well, it looks like you're going to be starting P6 tonight. Definitely good effort there by your team. Best of luck to you tonight as we've got, looks like 100 laps ahead with 3 separate stages. Certainly hope we're talking to you later on in the event. Until then, though, like I said, best of luck, and we'll see what 100 laps spells for you.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
And now, real quick, I'm going to welcome Terry Mason into the booth. Terry, heard there was some inclement weather in your area, but nice to have you up here finally.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry I'm late, but I finally have power at my house now. I appreciate you having me on board. Hopefully I'll do a good job tonight.
For sure. Well, we're going to carry on with some interviews before the race. I think we're actually going to pull aside Gordon Larson Jr. if we can't get that opportunity.
Sure. And
Gordon Larson Jr., this is Andrew up in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy? Try one more time. Gordon, this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Andrew.
All right. Well, certainly nice to see you out here on this fun night with the NMNTS Monday Night Thunder Series. What are you looking to do in the double O? I'm not sure where you're gridded, actually. I just shut my standings down. Looks like you are setting up for 16th, maybe riding around in the back.
Yeah, qualifying. I really can't judge on the qualifying, but yeah, we're going. The HRL team's going to team up in the back, and we're going to just see if we can outlast them to the end and see what happens.
For sure. Well, I know you're kind of one of the underdogs that everyone likes to root for over in the NMNTS series, various 3 series. You got that win back at Charlotte that was broadcast by No Breaks TV in the ARCA series. That was very nice to see you get. Since then, though, haven't gotten any wins necessarily, but you've definitely been continuing to make strides. We'll see what you can do out there tonight. Definitely going to be rooting for you.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night up there in the booth.
Will do for sure. You have a better night down in the truck, though. Gonna move you back down, but definitely best of luck to you tonight. Hopefully we're talking to you later on.
Appreciate it, Andrew.
And we're gonna try and get one more interview real quick. I'm going to go ahead and bring up old Matt Skipper. Matt Skipper, real quick, I know the race is about to get going, but this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy? We'll try one more time. Matt Skipper, this is Andrew up in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy, bud? Alright, well, he might be trying to figure out his mic, so we'll move him back down. And I think we'll pull... Well, I'd say we'll pull someone on aside Terry, but they're actually getting ready to get going, so we don't want to encroach on the grid time too much, I suppose.
Good. It just gives me enough time to get everything started up here.
And actually, Matt Skipper's coming back up. We will go ahead and bring him back in. Matt Skipper, this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, sorry, I was getting a little snack there.
Alright, no problem. Well, looks like you're gridded up 12th for tonight's Hunter Lapper in Daytona, Florida, which I believe you're local to, so definitely a local boy race for you tonight. Definitely going to be rooting for you. Tell us a little bit about what you're planning to do here to try and get to the front.
There's the flag, man. It's over.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be hanging out with the with a couple of my teammates for tonight, and we're just gonna hang around in the back. If it's quiet, then we'll go up to the front and stay there as long as we can. If it gets dicey, we'll move back. But yeah, you were talking about this as being my local track. Well, I only live 15 minutes from this place, so I know this from the back of my hand. Maybe not on iRacing, but you know what? We'll give them a good show tonight.
For sure, we'll definitely be looking out for you in the number 6 iRacing Chevrolet Silverado. Best of luck to you and your team down there at Jaeger Racing. Looks like you got Aiden Young, Matthew Welsenbach, and Sawyer Ott along with you tonight, so best of luck to all you guys, and we'll be looking out for you.
Thank you, and thank you very much for broadcasting this.
No problem, man. We'll move him on back down. So Terry, you and I normally race over in the Monday Night Thunder Truck Series. Tonight, though, with this fun event, we're up here in the booth, which is a bit different for both of us. A bit of a different scenery broadcasting for these guys. So, what do you think we can expect here tonight?
Well, I'm definitely expecting a lot of people to probably fall to the back, trying to get in line just to see how everything shakes out, keep the truck in one piece. And, I can definitely see near the end of the race, like any super speedway race, I think we're going to see a lot of cars, or trucks, I should say, hook up and move their way to the front.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be one of those things where on iRacing anymore in the plate races, normally these guys they kind of putz around almost like the Joe Gibbs cars back in 2016 rather at Talladega.
Exactly.
They kind of just putz around for a little while. So, we'll see if maybe taking points out, changes it up a little bit. Don't really know. I know there's a lot of hungry dogs that are going to be looking to come out here and just get a win real quick, even though it doesn't count for anything other than just for fun. Everyone wants to win, especially these plate tracks. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys do throughout the night. Definitely, the stage aspect is going to be interesting because I don't think these guys are going to have to make any green flag pit stops at all tonight. I think it's just going to be a straight shot through as these guys start to roll off.
And
I thought there was an audio issue.
I have to get a shout out, though. I may have missed this earlier, but I'd like to congratulate Robbie Buckner on the pole.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely nice to see him back. He's been, going through a bit of a hiatus here in the Truck Series and the ARCA Series and the National Series. But it's nice to see him coming back these last few weekends, and especially getting this pole tonight, even if it doesn't mean a whole lot. It's got to be enough to boost his confidence, if nothing else.
Exactly, and it kind of, even though it is an unofficial race, it still makes a good statement to the other guys that he's here to win.
For sure. Well, we got to talk with him earlier, as he is the pole sitter, of course. We got to talk with a few other guys like Mike Bruno, and I think you were here for the rest of them, even Blake Falone. So, got to talk with quite a few of these guys, and I think we're gonna decide to go on board with Robbie here, as you mentioned, he is on pole, and it's a big one for him, even if it's non-points, like we said. Gonna go on board with him, and let's see. I think we'll even go with the rear end camera right here. This is a camera that they used to have on like the NBC broadcast back in the day, CBS broadcasts even, where it's right down on that bumper, so you can see the edge of that bumper. And as these guys come up and punch the back of these tailgates, we're gonna see all the action here as they're coming to the green here.
Green.
flag is out. Robbie Buckner leads the way down to the start-finish line. There goes the field, and we're going to jump back on board with Robbie. As it looks like that top line is going to move a little bit more at first, but we'll see if John Barron gets up to the back end of the 90 and gives him a push.
Trying to catch up. The outside line looks like he's got a good 6-car hookup on the outside, and inside line is now starting to form up, so it should be a good run on the back straightaway.
Yeah, and one thing that I noted back a couple of weeks ago when the All-Star Sim Racing boys went to Talladega, these are the same trucks. This is basically the same package, same trucks, same kind of track. It was Talladega a couple of weeks ago. This is Daytona. Not a whole lot of difference other than a little less racing room here, but one thing we made sure to note in that Talladega race was the top side works a little bit better, especially on corner exit. You've got a huge run out of the corners, and you can really play around with the air and honestly control the whole race from the top side if you were to be, ambitious enough to do it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're watching the top side now just form up, and it looks like they're going to get inside line is keeping up with them though.
Yeah, for sure. And we already see Robbie Buckner falling back. The two guys that were to his outside, being Mike Bruno and looks like Stephen Mayock. I'm not sure how to say his last name. We'll try and catch up with him at some point tonight, get a proper pronunciation on that. But he's out there. They both cleared Robbie Buckner. They moved down, and they're controlling that bottom line now. Now you got Spence, the champ. Spence Thompson on the top side, and the number 89, he's pushing Blake Falone up on the top side. They're trying to get a run going, but Matthew Welsenbach and Aiden Young maybe sitting back just a little bit, waiting to see what happens before they make any big moves like that. Currently, though, very nice and orderly fashion. Off the start of this race, John Barron also sitting back a little bit. We see Matt Skipper, who we talked to, up in the mix, but just being patient. Even Bradley Wilson in the mix with his neon yellow Vulcan Hancock's Menard Chevrolet Silverado. So it's definitely, it's going to be action-packed all night through all three stages rather, but right now it looks like these guys are just taking it easy, understanding there's 100 laps to go.
Exactly, and I've already noticed a few cars, they headed to the back on the first lap, so I think they're just going to ride around and kind of see what happens in the front, and if anything does happen, hopefully they'll be able to keep their cars in one piece.
So Terry, as we kind of use this as an introduction for PSI TV to the NMNTS Racing Series, you are the current points leader over in the NMNTS ARCA Series on Sunday nights. That ran last night at USA International Speedway, now defunct but still living forever on iRacing. Definitely one of the cooler tracks to drive if you know what you're doing and you have the right car and the right setup under you. So you maybe didn't get the result you totally wanted, but you kept your points. You actually expanded it quite a bit over myself and Jason Alexander, who is in this race tonight. But we got the 11 blinking out front currently. We might be seeing him fall to the back. That is one of the league rules. If you're blinking, especially at a place like this, you're supposed to move back. But that's up to admin discretion. Anyways, back to the conversation. Terry, you are the points leader over the NMNTS ARCA Series, and this is the first time we've gotten with NMNTS on the paved stuff. So if you could tell us a little bit about the ARCA Series and what you're doing to try and win that championship, that'd be great.
Well, right now, as far as the ARCA Series, I love running those cars. It's been a great series, and I'm actually kind of surprised to see where I'm at in the points, considering I'm yet to win a race, but I'm still trying. But right now, I'm kind of big picture racing. Kind of bring the car home in one piece. Kind of extend my points lead over you and Jason.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you've done a great job of doing it. You've definitely expanded the lead, like you mentioned, and you're holding that first spot. There is no chase format, so it's just a straight run to the finish. I think it's going to be pretty hard to even get close to touching you. As we go through some cameras here, sorry, got to one of the wrong ones, but it's going to be hard to touch you for sure. As we've got 2 more short tracks, and I believe 1.5 miles left at Texas to finish the season off. So as we see these guys continue to dice it up front, Blake Falone still leading the top side, Mike Bruno still leading the bottom. We're not seeing a whole lot of advantages go either way right now. That 14 on the bottom, that's Stephen Mayock, I'm going to guess. Mayock? I'm not sure, but he's definitely keeping Mike Bruno out to that lead, and Spence Thompson, I think, is a little bit timid working with the 11 right now based on the blinking we saw. So looks like they're just going to ride around for a little while and see where this goes. There's still 30-some laps to the stage end.
These guys have been running very clean, side by side. No one's making any unnecessary moves, so it's really good to see. A lot of smart driving on all these drivers right now. Ooh, looks like the 14 hit the apron a little bit. He kept it down under the yellow lines. Everyone's going to by cleanly.
Now they're going to do their best there. They were able to file out, get up to the wall. I think we saw the 35 get into the wall a little bit, which certainly isn't great for him, but as long as he keeps that right front out of the clean air, he shouldn't be too bad as long as he keeps it in the draft. So I think he'll be fine. We will go ahead and take a look back at that, though, with the number 14. We were just praising him, really, on how good he was doing, keeping Mike Bruno up in the lead. Now we see Blake Falone's going to take that lead, but we're going to...
Oh.
We have a record up front?
No, I was going to say, looks like Spence Thompson's got a good push, and he's going to take the lead on the high side. But what I wanted to mention was when that incident occurred, it was right in front of Robbie Buckner, and I'm pretty sure that was a rude awakening for him, but he did a great job avoiding everything.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a nail-biter for sure in these first laps. I think the mid part of the race is when things will calm down a little bit more, but at least for a little while, it's going to be a nail-biter for these guys. We're now looking back at what happened to the 14. Yeah, I think he just misjudged where the corner started, because when you're packed up on somebody, we'll actually go to the visor cam in one of these Toyotas. I think we'll utilize I would utilize Ken Yates, but he's sitting back. I think John Barron's in a Toyota, and he is. So we'll utilize him real quick, because these guys continue to do battle up there in the lead. Spence Thompson, Blake Falone controlling the race so far. But as I was mentioning, we'll go in, look at the visor cam here in the Toyota. All the Toyota drivers have this tonight, and you can't see a whole lot. If you were to pack up, like if John was to pack up to the back end of Robbie Buckner right there ahead of him, I mean, he would see a BA graphic spoiler in his face, and that's about it. Maybe a blue tailgate. It's really hard to see out of these trucks, and I shouldn't say see out of them, but see up ahead of the next truck, because it's a really big back end, a really tall spoiler on these trucks still. NASCAR hasn't lowered the downforce on these things yet, so it's really hard to see what's going on, and with how wide the back end is too, you can't always see the double yellow lines down there to know when the corner's coming up. You can't always know when the corner's coming, so a lot of times what these guys do at Talladega, there's not a whole lot of room to do it here at Daytona, but what they'll do at Talladega is they'll run just a little bit off that double yellow line to give the guy behind them a view of what's going on, but it's harder to do here, closer racing and less racing room.
Yeah, because even at Daytona, sometimes just trying to back off to stay off the bumper in front of you so you can see is very hard, because sometimes you just suck right up without even trying and lose your field of vision.
For sure. Well, we got to talk with Gordon Larson a little while ago, so we're actually going to go to his teammate who's sitting right behind him. We'll go to the visor cam, one more time, as we get to see the view from a little bit further back than where John Barron was. And you see there's even a big mirror in the way, so it definitely makes it a little bit harder to see to the right as well. It's a challenging thing to do, even on the simulator, but especially in real life. And these guys are some of the best doing it, I'd say. I think you'd echo me in saying that.
A little dicey. It looks like trying to do a little side drafting on the back straightaway. Sideline broke up just a little bit. Looks like you got Blake Falone and Mike Bruno together on the inside, and got a heck of a line built up on the outside. So I would not be surprised to see the outside line get a heck of a run right here.
Yeah, these guys are definitely starting to form that top lineup. I think the guys on the top are starting to get hungry for the lead, wanting to control this race a bit more. You see Spence Thompson now moves down in front of Blake Falone, maybe just trusting Blake a little bit more. I know, at least I believe, Blake Falone and BB Racing is somewhat affiliated with WFO Motorsports, if not at least on good terms. And actually, we should introduce these guys to the team. So Spence Thompson in the number 89. He is with WFO Motorsports. I'm not going to explain what WFO means on the broadcast.
Use your imagination.
So, anyways, he's with WFO Motorsports, which is led by Bradley Wilson, league owner. There's a few other guys with him, obviously Bradley Wilson, his teammate and team owner, but also Robbie Buckner, and unfortunately Zach Lindgren isn't here with us tonight, but Zach Lindgren normally races as a WFO driver, and Terry Mason, I know you're in the family, but you're not on WFO, you're actually with a team called Riot Motorsports or Riot Racing?
It's Riot Motorsports.
All right, so with Motorsports, you just said it, and I still mess it up. Riot Motorsports, which is led by Joseph Andujar, who we'll see back next season. He's actually currently serving for our country in the Middle East. Definitely want to thank him for that.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, he's got cojones of steel. So.
Exactly. That's why I figured I owe him at least I owe him a championship in the ARCA series.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better guys as far as character, I'd say, in the NMNTS racing series. Definitely a really cool guy. So a quick shout out to him. Hopefully he's watching or will be watching later on. Currently, we're just kind of watching these guys do battle up front. Not a whole lot's going on. Spence Thompson leading the bottom line, getting pushed by Blake Falone. To his outside is Matthew Welzenbach and Sawyer Ott, but actually I just noticed they're coming up on some lap traffic. So we'll do a quick revisit of the team. So we explained WFO and Riot Racing, Motorsports, geez. There's also another team that's probably one of the teams that's to be reckoned with, if anything, for a championship this season, next season, and as long as they exist. One of the stronger teams in NMNTS would be MR Motorsports, led by Michael Redding, who's not in attendance tonight, but one of their star drivers is going to be Tyler Justice, as we have him pulled up as our reference driver currently. He's working with a couple other teammates, Jared Beasley, Corey Walters, and Jason Alexander. They also have a few other guys that aren't here, but Mike Bruno is in with that gang as well, with MR Motorsports. So if you hear us reference these teams, now you know a little bit more what we're talking about. As far as the other big team in attendance here tonight, that would be HRL. I don't know what that stands for, actually. But HRL consists of the 00 of Gordon Larson Jr., who we'll take a look at here, racing around the back of the pack. Also, the 818 of Derek Robinson, the 43 of Craig Lerman, and I think Sawyer Ott may be in that family. I'm not totally certain, though.
I'm not sure either. I know I was watching the field earlier when they were catching the lap traffic. Lap traffic was very respectful, turned down to the inside and gave lap trucks a lot of room to get by them.
And so now we're starting to see battle keep going, really. I was going to say commence, but keep going up front. Matthew Welzenbach trying to lead, it looks like maybe teammates Sawyer Ott and Aiden Young around the top side. Welzenbach actually just won the most recent plate track event here in the NMNTS at Talladega. It was the first elimination race of the NMNTS Hunt, which is basically just the NMNTS version of the chase or the playoffs. And the two drivers that were eliminated in that race, which are neither one are here actually, which is kind of surprising to me, but those were the 59 of David Levine and the number 2 of DJ Hargrove. But Matthew Welzenbach ended up outlasting a late race wreck to win that one. So obviously he knows what he's doing, and he's currently showing that he's going to continue that strength out here leading right now ahead of Spence Thompson, Sawyer Ott, Aiden Young, and Blake Falone. That is your top 5.
Like 6th place, right? Currently you have Mike Bruno. 7th place, you have Robbie Buckner. Place, Craig Lerman. On in 9th, we have Bradley Wilson, and bringing up the top 10, we have Matthew Skipper.
And we actually I mean, I personally didn't see it, but obviously it was on the camera more than likely. Spence Thompson's now on the top side working with Mike Bruno. At the moment, they're going to actually get the advantage over the 29 on the inside, but the 9 and the 35 are still working that bottom. They actually moved down there to go with the teammate, Matthew Welsenbach. So, nice camaraderie going on there. Blake Falone still trying to hold his own on the bottom side. And we're just going to see this continue to happen, where these guys will cycle out in the front. Some will get the run on the top side and move down, and then they'll get cycled back, and someone else does the same thing. So it's gonna go on like this as long as we have this green flag racing, and it's nice to see this green flag racing rather than them wadding it up every lap.
Exactly.
As we continue to just watch this battle up front, we're actually going to go on board with Craig Merman in the number 43. He's riding around in 9th place right now, just inside the top 10, battling with Robbie Buckner and Matt Skipper and Bradley Wilson. And, Craig is another one of those guys that runs up in the front, as often as he can, obviously, but isn't necessarily one of your picks to win, but I would definitely consider him one of the underdogs for tonight that can go up there and get it done.
Oh, exactly. Especially at any super speedway track. Any driver that takes the track has the opportunity to win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a skill set that favors this kind of track. I'd say luck can get you to the end, but it's going to take skill to win with these kinds of tracks. So I don't think it's going to be all luck as far as winning this one. I think these guys are going to race smart, even though there's nothing on the line really. I think they're going to race smart just for that, just for the bragging rights to go along with it.
Oh yeah, and right now there's a lot of communication with the drivers over the radios right now. They're trying to get very considerate, letting people by, or trying to line up and make a run on other trucks.
For sure, and currently we're still seeing battle go on up in the front between Matthew Welsenbach and Sawyer Ott. Matthew Welsenbach actually on the top line, starting to fall back just a little bit, a couple cars behind the leader Sawyer Ott right now. It looks like Blake Falone's trying to get that inside line rolling. Ken Yance and Bradley Wilson behind him, but I mean, these guys are just going to keep doing this. Like I said, they're going to keep going back and forth, so it's, we can see who's strong at pushing, who's strong at leading, but it's not going to mean a whole lot because you can easily just get a run going on the top side, get up there and one or two trucks clear them, shakes it all up again. Ooh, that was actually, that was pretty close right there with the 29 and the 11.
I'm not sure if he was trying to go to the inside lane, if he thought it was clear, or if he was trying to side draft or just got a little loose.
Yeah, so once more, I do believe the 9, 29, and 35 that we're seeing up front in the top three, I believe they're all in one TeamSpeak chat. So they're all working together, if I'm not mistaken. Blake Falone right now trying to play spoiler in that. That was interesting.
Oh.
I can definitely say I was not expecting a car to be sitting there as the field came by. We'll see what happened there to the number 14. Looks like maybe as he was trying to leave the pits, didn't expect the wheel spin and looped it at pit exit. Thankfully that wasn't a caution, but it definitely could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, good thing he stayed below the yellow line and didn't go up into the track.
For sure. Well, as we continue on, we're through 23 laps of 100. Actually going to be 24 now as these guys come by the start-finish line. We're not even 3/4 of the way done with this first stage of 40 laps, but these guys have kept it clean and green. Very respectful racing going on up at the front. Definitely really cool to see. And as we're to this point, not quite 3/4 of the way actually, I'm going to bring up an overlay that I can bring up thanks to Sim Racing apps. You'll see their logo up on the ticker above. This overlay is what I have labeled as spotter. It's what I use when I'm spotting people, but it works for the broadcast actually as well because you can see where different trucks are, different cars are around the track. So it is just a track map like you might see in normal NASCAR video games, but what I like about this for tonight, and we used it back at Talladega for the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series, what I like about it is if this race gets broken up on a long run and for some reason they have to pit, or if there's just an event that causes some of the field to break up from the front, you'll see where those groups are. So you'll be able to see as they actually catch up to the lead pack. So it's definitely pretty cool to see in action. And it also displays some weather information. Looks like we got 14-mile-an-hour winds out of the east, but that's not exactly important. What was important was that little bit about the fact that it can be pretty helpful if we get a long run or if something happens like that.
Oh, agreed. I really like that layout. That's the first time I have seen that. That is very nice.
And so we're going to continue on. We're now on to lap 27 of 40 in stage 1. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. It's going to be about a 35-second commercial. So if you see the commercial pop up, don't click away. We'll be right back.
In this cauldron of fiery wills and burning competition, rivalries heat up quicker. This is an oval of stolen victories and crushed dreams, filled with volumes of unfinished business. Sooner or later, you all become rivals. With everyone fighting over one finish line, there's never enough glory to go around.
And we are already back. That was rather quick. We've still got the same battle going on up in the front. Actually, haven't even changed the camera. It's all just nice and consistent. But we'll now look up to Aiden Young. He's in control of that bottom line now. Going toe-to-toe with teammate Matthew Welsenbach. And now the champ, Spence Thompson, leading that top... Well, I should say pushing that top line, becoming the engine of that top line to get them back up there. Is definitely doing his job right now as defending champion, just showing that he has... the ability to get up there and do something. So we'll continue to watch that line as they try and muster up enough of a run to get up there and get the lead again. They're falling back once more, so it seems like it's a bit rough trying to get something organized up on the top side. Coming up to 3/4 of the way through the first stage in just a couple of laps, and who do you think is going to end up winning this one here, Terry?
Man, that's a hard. You put me in a hard situation. I really like the. I may be biased on this, but I know how Spence Thompson does a lot of strategizing when he's running these plate races. Not because he's just a teammate, but just because I know his driving skills. So I'll put my money on Spence to take this victory.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't write him off in any way, shape, or form. He's called the champ for a reason. He won the championship last season in the NMNTS Truck Series. So he is the defending champ as we continue on through the hunt. You can catch that on No Bricks TV on Monday nights at this time. So, if you're interested in following up on this, I definitely suggest you do so. Terry personally runs the 75, I run the 81. And Spence Thompson will be the defending champion, but he's got to go toe-to-toe with the likes of Tyler Justice and Mike Bruno, so it's going to be no easy battle for anyone, especially not anyone that's not named Tyler Justice, because he has won almost everything there is to win in the series so far, so, props to him, but Spence Thompson, I think, definitely has a leg up on the rest of the field at the very least. And
oh, yeah.
I think he has a pretty good chance of going out there and winning this one.
Oh, definitely. And, we were talking about there's a lot of good competition in the NMNTS Truck Series. You and I race in it, so I hate to say it, I'm no competition in that series, but I have a great time just being out there driving around with these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these guys are some of the best. I wouldn't say the best by any means, because, there's always going to be somebody that can come along and beat someone else. There's always going to be a change of hands as far as the best, just like I think in NASCAR as far as the debate between Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmy Johnson. I think you can never name one best driver, but I'd say these guys are some of the best, especially guys like Spence Thompson, who is right now doing his job right now, trying to work that top side behind Matthew Welsenbach, get them going somewhere, not getting too far just yet on the outside of Aiden Young and Sawyer up, but they're definitely trying. Blake Falone kind of been the powerhouse up here on the bottom most of the night, so been nice to see him being able to keep that up front. He did miss just barely on the hunt, so he isn't battling for a championship this season, but he was definitely one of the drivers that was trying to become the dark horse in the series, and he almost did it. He almost
Yeah.
did it, but he fell just a little bit short. As currently, we're watching from the nose camera of Spencer Thompson as he pushes the TN Design Chevrolet Silverado of Matthew Welsenbach on the top side.
He is right on his bumper. He is doing his best to keep pushing him on the high side to catch back up with the lead.
And I'm surprised we haven't seen any of these guys back out just due to running hot. They've all just been consistently running nose to tail, bottom and top side, and no one's really backed out due to overheating, which, that can be remedied if you pop your nose out to the top side a little bit. So that is part of the reason we haven't seen anyone dip out, but also these guys have been switching hands in the lead a lot. We've seen it go back and forth between Welsenbach and Aiden Young and Sawyer Ott and even Spence Thompson, Mike Marino, and Blake Falone. I think those are our only 6 leaders so far, but as the stage comes to an end here in a few laps, I think we're going to see Robbie Buckner and Ken Yance. They're the first 2 behind this top 6 we've been talking about most of the night. They're the first 2 in line, both on the bottom and the top, to try and make something happen. I wouldn't rule it out. And then we got Bradley Wilson, Craig Lerman just lurking there. I certainly would expect to see Bradley Wilson kick it up into overdrive as we come to the end of the stage.
Oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't count Bradley out of this. I mean, he's very, very methodical in his racing, so I'm sure he's just driving back there, kind of watching everyone's moves, learning to seeing who's working together, seeing who he can work with, who was not work with him. So I'm sure he's back there, he's studying and he's plotting.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say he's one of the better thinkers over here, as far as racing IQ goes, I guess. Is what you could
A good
call
way to put it.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the ways to put it. He's definitely, I'd say, one of the better guys, bias aside. I think he definitely has what it takes to maybe get it done, as far as the championship goes next season. He hasn't had a whole lot of great luck this season, but now he's letting his teammate Robbie Buckner down into the bottom side, it looks like. Looks like maybe they're going to mount a final run for the final bit of this stage as we come to 5 to go until the stage end. Things are only going to get more dicey up in the front as we're currently watching Matthew Welsenbach continue to try and work the top side around Aiden Young and Sawyer Ott. We haven't seen a change of hands for the lead really in the last 10 laps.
No, and the when Robbie dug down to the inside, that's we now have a good 5-6 car lined up on the inside, and you only have 3 cars on the outside. So I would expect to see this inside line start to move a little quicker, but it does look like Craig Lerman is catching up to the back of Bruno. It may just even out coming out here in the back straightaway.
Yeah, I think as these guys start to sit back, realize the end of the stage is coming in just 4 laps now, I think we'll start to see these guys get a lot more dicey as the field goes by the tri-oval. 4 to go this time in the stage. This is the first stage of 3, and now we have that top line starting to come back. We saw them get a huge run there as they come by the digger cam in turns 1 and 2. And they fall back a little bit. They're going to get the run here down the straightaway. They're going to get a bit of a run, I think. And actually, Sawyer Ott is doing an incredible job on the back end of that pit stop insider number 9. I can't believe that those guys are hanging out there as good as they are on the bottom side.
Yeah, if I've been watching Sawyer, I have not seen him kind of duck out to try to cool off his engine. Oh, never mind. As I say that, he just did that. So, one thing about when you're in this draft, you got to be careful about how hard you hit, where you push, but you also have to remember to keep your eyes on those gauges as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the arts of plate racing is, you have to watch. You have to watch your motor. You have to watch everyone around you, and then you obviously have to plan ahead and know what you're going to do. As we see this top line start to dissolve a little bit, maybe working on one last run here at the end of the stage. We're going to come around and take 2 to go in the stage. We keep talking about stage, but 2 to go here in the stage as we come out of turn 4 in just a moment. And I think this is where they're going to have to mount their final run. They're going to have to get a head of steam up on the top side and really do something here. That really the field's kind of starting to stretch out once more, which is kind of interesting to me. I thought we'd be packing up.
I did too.
And currently, it looks like Spence Thompson's getting right back to the back end of the 29, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, Spence is definitely, he's trying his best to push a 29. I'm starting to wonder if 29 would actually be a better pusher than a leader. Like, if I'm just curious, I'd like to see it later in the race, kind of flip-flopped with the 89 in front of the 29, just to see what kind of momentum they could get on the outside.
For sure. I mean, we've seen these guys from Jaeger Racing with the 9 and the 29 control the back half of this stage, but I think something's going to have to give in this, this dominance of the whole stage so far.
We had
As
someone
we
hitting
come
pit
to
road.
the white flag, it looks like maybe they are playing the stage games. I'm not sure, if that's legal considering what part of the stage we're in, but that is Matt Skipper coming down the pits. Like I said, I'm not sure about the policy as far as when you can and can't pit, but we're coming to the end of the stage here. This is the final lap of the stage. It's lap 40 of 100. So this is what it all comes down to. We're going to have the caution break as they come around to complete this lap. Matthew Welzenbach and Spence Thompson and Mike Bruno. There we go. We got it out finally. Trying to make something happen on the top side. Craig Lerman has fallen back. We got Sawyer Rock continuing to push Aiden Young out to that huge advantage, and I think that's going to do it. Aiden Young in the Safe Light Pit Stop Insider Chevrolet Silverado is going to be your Stage 1 winner as the caution flies.
Caution's out.
And that is your Stage 1 here from Daytona International Speedway. We're going to put up another quick commercial, and we will be right back.
In this cauldron of fiery wills and burning competition, rivalries heat up quicker. This is an oval of stolen victories and crushed dreams, filled with volumes of unfinished business. Sooner or later, you all become rivals. With everyone fighting over one finish line, there's never enough glory to go around.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NMNTS Truck Series Fun Run here at Daytona International Speedway, presented by Pit Stop Insider TV and SimSpec PC. Looks like we're going to have Ken Yance actually stay. Oh, he's a lap down. Never mind. I was going to say he's staying out, maybe to try and get some kind of advantage, but he's a lap down. He was one of the lap down trucks that we saw the leaders deal with a little while earlier, and aside from that, the leader's coming down the pits, getting some service, getting 4 tires, 4 Mr. Feelgoods, and a full tank of gas. As we'll wait for Aiden Young to exit the pits, and then we're going to get Terry Mason to talk to our stage winner. Matthew Welzenbach's going to win the race out of pit road, followed by our stage 1 winner, Aiden Young, and then Blake Falone. So I'll let you get Aiden Young up in here and get a talk with him.
Pull him up here. Hi, Aiden. This is Terry from PSI. How you doing tonight?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing really good.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on taking the stage win.
Thank you. Just having a good night.
How's the truck feeling tonight?
Yeah, the truck's feeling really well. It's handled the way I want it, and having a bunch of teammates up here really helps a lot. So
It definitely looks like once you and your teammates are hooked up, you guys are going to be the. You guys seem to be working very well together.
Yeah, we've been racing a little bit together, so it really helps when you got a bunch of teammates that know what to do and actually help you.
That is true. Well, I just want to. While I have you on here, is there anyone you want to thank while I have you on air?
I just want to thank Jaeger Racing, Ryan Daniels, if he's out there watching, and all the guys from Jaeger that are here helping us.
Well, Aiden, I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, that was Aiden Young, your Stage 1 winner. He definitely went out there and controlled the whole back half of that stage, be it with the help of his teammates. And, you know, we see why Matt Skipper decided to come in at the end of that stage there. I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if that's within the rules or not. I know in NASCAR, once you take, I believe it's 3 to go, maybe 2 to go, you can't pit.
Yep.
Matt Skipper did. I don't think there's a rule against it, considering the stage rule hasn't really been implemented just yet in NMNTS. We haven't been stage racing this year, basically, is what I'm saying, and this is a new thing to test out some new things for 2018. As you can see, we've actually got the 2018 logo on the bottom right of the screen here, the SimSpec Midnight Thunder Championship Series logo. It's brand new. It really hasn't even gotten a whole lot of attention yet, but it was provided to us by league owner Bradley Wilson for tonight to show off. It's definitely a really cool looking logo, if you ask me, and credits go out to, I'm not sure what the name of the the name of the graphics page is, but I know it was Ken Yantz who got it done, so definitely a big shout out to him. That's a very nice logo down there, if you ask me.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. That's going to look beautiful all next year.
And as we prepare for the back half of the caution, I think we're actually going to be coming around to get the wonder green signal this time, if not next time. We are currently on lap 44 of 100. That means we're going to have just under 40 laps for stage 2. Looks like Matt Skipper is going to take us to the green. I think we're taking the wonder green here. And we are.
Yep, lights are off on the pace car.
So that means these guys up front will be gridding up for the restart. Matt Skipper will be your leader coming to the green here. Like we mentioned, Matthew Welsenbach to his outside. Then stage winner Aiden Young going to be right behind Skippy. To the outside of Aiden Young is going to be Blake Falone. Then we're going to have Mike Brino on the inside of row 3. Spence Thompson in 6th. That'll be Sawyer Ott and Craig Lerman taking up 7th and 8th respectively. Robbie Buckner in 9th and Derek Robinson in 10th.
Restarting 11th place would be Gordon Larson. 12th place will be Bradley Wilson. 13th to 14th will be Jason Alexander and John Barron. We have Jared Beach, Tyler Justice in 16th. On 17th. Corey Walters in number 28th will be in.
So Terry, it sounds like
14.
maybe your mic isn't always picking your voice up. Maybe just the activation settings for that. It is a bit spotty sometimes if we hear the words you're saying, but we are coming around to get the green flag on stage number 2. Matt Skipper going to be out front, and we will be watching from the onboard of stage 1 winner, his teammate. That's going to be Aiden Young, and the number 9 Safe Light Auto and Safe Light Auto Glass rather, and Pit Stop Insider Chevrolet.
Like the pace car is hitting pit road.
That it
We
is.
agree.
We're going to watch from the tri-oval digger cam, and they go right back to the onboard of the number 9 as they come roaring around the tri-oval. That was rather loud. Go back to the onboard of Aiden Young as he's going to try and get up to the back end of his teammate Matt Skipper and try and get him a roll on the bottom side. That VA graphic spoiler, like we said, that's going to be a huge issue for these drivers. You know, it's hard to see. We'll actually go to the cockpit camera here with Aiden Young. And this is directly from the driver's perspective. This is one thing that we get thanks to this being a simulator is we get to see it literally from the driver's eyes, and you can see just how hard it is to see out of the front end, or out of the cockpit of one of these trucks, if you're pushing somebody, especially, you don't see much. So you got a big A-pillar to your left, you got some bars to your right. You don't have a whole lot of visual. You kind of just have to rely on your spotter, which thankfully is provided automatically by iRacing via just algorithms. And also you do have some mirrors. We can see the mirror up in the top right and a little bit of the driver's side mirror down in the bottom left. So, there's a few resources these guys have, but it's still very hard to know what's going on.
Oh, definitely. And being in that situation when someone checks up ahead of time, you can't see it. It's horrible when it happens, but when someone checks up, it's easy to get into the bumper, the truck in front of you. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly nothing hard to do at a place like this. There's not a whole lot of escape routes. You have to go low and try not to wreck it on the difference in banking between the apron and the track itself, or you go high and you're risking putting yourself in the wall or taking a driver with you. So there's not very many escape routes at a place like Talladega or Daytona, and it's really just a matter of praying most of the time. You try and commit to one thing, and you're going to pray that it works out for you. So currently we're seeing that bottom line pick up some momentum. Matthew Welzenbach and Blake Falone up top kind of getting shunted by the bottom side. But currently, it's very interesting to see as these guys form these lines once again. Actually, Skipper got the apron going into one. That was almost
that was
really
close.
bad. We're going into three, rather. Yeah, that could have been really bad. That was right in front of the field, obviously, as he is the leader. So that could have been a lot worse than it was. He got it figured out right away in that iRacing Chevrolet that is painted by BA Graphics, as you saw on his spoiler. BA Graphics and TN Designs, your two leading graphics solutions over in the NMNTS Racing Series. You'll see a lot of these trucks are painted by the two of them. BA Graphics has painted the 6, like I mentioned. The 29 is painted by TN Designs. That's why you've got all the logos on it. That number 11 painted by TN Designs. Let's see, as we go through the field, we've got the 88 was painted by BA Graphics. I mean, it just goes on and on as far as who painted what. There's even some other smaller name graphic pages, I believe. Like I said, Ken Yance, I don't know what his page is called, but he does graphics as well. He sponsors a few of the cars out in the field tonight, as well as Tyler Justice and Jared Beasley with TJ Designs and I believe JB Graphics or something like that to that effect for Jared Beasley. So definitely all kinds of different places you can go to if you're looking for iRacing graphics and paints. And without further ado, we'll get right back to the battle up in the front. Ed Young continuing to push his teammate Matt Skipper in the lead.
Skipper's doing a great job keeping the lead on the older tires while everyone else has fresher tires.
Yeah, I mean, Skipper's not going to have very much older tires, probably 2 laps, if anything. And then we have that caution for the stage break, and, if anything, I think I'd want a couple lap older tires that have been broken in, got down to that good rubber, but with that caution, they're going to cool down and get some marbles anyways, so I'm not sure there was much of an advantage either way. Other than, Skipper's going to have a little bit less fuel, but with that caution, it won't really matter. We are halfway, as the ticker says, but that means we're only 10 laps into stage number 2.
One thing about pitting a little before that stage ends, able to pick up a lot of track position, got himself up front, and that's where he needed to be because he's doing a great job staying there.
Yeah, and you know what? I guarantee you we're going to see more drivers try that this time. Obviously, up until now, it was working for Matt Skipper. He was up in the lead up until this lap, really, right until halfway, when Blake Falone and Matthew Welzenbach got it done up on the top side. And now Blake Falone's going to assume the lead on the top side with the help of Spence Thompson once more getting in the battle for the lead. But I think we're going to see a lot of drivers in the back, like Bradley Wilson, who's just kind of riding around, try that. Maybe even Ken Yance, Tyler Justice, Jared Beasley. They have to try something, obviously. It's going to be too hard to drive through the pack, so that has to be their option, if you ask me. It's obviously it worked out, and if you were to run it right, not saying Matt Skipper did anything wrong, but if you were to run it right, I think you'd easily be able to win the race off of that kind of strategy, considering we're going into a stage 3 that's half the distance.
One thing I've noticed, some of the cars that were running up front in the last segment, have now trailed off to the back of the pack. You have Robbie Buckner, Bradley Wilson, and Ken Yons are kind of teamed up, just three of them riding behind this field. I don't know if they saw something they didn't like and are just wanting to fall back from the field, or if they're just planning something for the next segment.
Well, you know what? I think if they were to keep tabs with the leaders, they could effectively pull a Matt Skipper, come in towards the end of this stage and get 2 tires, and then probably have enough gas to go to the end, or even get no tires, just gas, and have enough gas to go to the end of stage 3. And I think effectively that puts them in the position to win the race.
Exactly. So, as soon as the green flag drops in super speedway races, strategy begins.
So it's looking like we've got about 12, 13 viewers right now. If you have any questions for us, leave them in the comments. I'm periodically checking that, and I think Terry is doing the same. If you have any questions for us, just leave a comment on the broadcast right now, and we'll try and get to it as soon as we can. If it goes a little while without us commenting on it, just type it in again, I guess, and we will, like I said, do our best to take care of that. Currently, though, we're watching from the nose of Mike Bruno running around in 4th, 5th place on the inside line, currently behind Matt Skipper, who is trying to follow Matthew Welzenbach and get him up into the lead. Welzenbach that time had the lead by less than a tenth over Aiden Young. Aiden Young trying to bring it back on the top side.
Tried his best.
Yeah, I mean, Blake Falone doing what he can as well, doing his part in this whole equation. We see Sawyer Ott has now gotten up ahead of Spence Thompson. Aiden Young back to the bottom side. Sawyer Ott going to continue to try and help Blake Falone get up into the lead. And I think they actually might have a run here at a turn 4 that could get Blake into the lead, at least for this lap.
I definitely think Aiden and Sawyer, I think they're trying to get themselves hooked up, get themselves in line like they were in that last segment.
Yeah, for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised, as you just said there, if Sawyer gets Blake. Actually, Blake just dropped there. I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if Sawyer drops down as soon as he's clear, but I think Blake Falone just played spoiler in that. And now we're going to see if Spence Thompson decides to work with Sawyer Ott as Matt Skipper gets in behind Spence Thompson up on the top side. We're going to see Mike Bruno quickly fill that gap and Craig Lerman get up behind the number 6 and try and push him up to the 89. These guys are starting to shake it up front. I was just going to say it's only a matter of time until we see a wreck, and we're wrecking. It's a big
wrecking.
One.
We have cars flipping.
That's most of the
still
field.
wrecking.
That's the big one. That is the big one. The only big one I think we're going to have.
I think that was more than half the field on that one. It might be easier just to see who's left driving and who in that wreck.
For sure, and we're still seeing some contact made as these guys are trying to get away from the scene. That was probably the one single big one we're going to see all night. Jared Beasley still trying to work the banking and get going again. He'll finally get it back down off the banking and resume course. But we're going to take multiple looks back at that one.
I see Mike Bruno, he's smoking. Matthew Skipper is smoking. Lost a lot of front runners were caught up in that accident.
And so that all started with Sawyer Ott and Blake Falone. I'm not really sure what happened, but we saw Blake make a very gutsy move down in front of Aiden Young that shook up the entire field almost, down into turns 1 and 2. And then we're going to see what happens here from the onboard camera with Aiden Young. I think actually Sawyer Ott came down into the number 11, got the number 11 onto the apron. Yeah, actually it looks like maybe Sawyer got a really unhealthy bump from the number 89 to Spence Thompson, and that just sent them everywhere. Sawyer Ott up on his lid, taking Tyler Justice with him, and that was a heck of a wreck.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bump draft was square. It looked like it kind of got him in the right side of the bumper, which turned him down left into Lake.
And the contact we saw after the wreck, I don't think that was anything intentional. I think they were just trying to leave the scene of the accident and got into each other. We're going to watch that from the onboard of Craig Lerman this time. As we see him try and get through this one, I believe we saw him wrecked as well, though. Yeah, for sure. He was not going to get out of that one. I'm not so sure anyone in the front pack, aside from Corey Walters, Blake Filone, John Barron, even got through that without damage.
No, there was just pure carnage on that wreck, and I'm curious to see our 3 trucks that were staying in the back actually were able to avoid this.
I mean, that's just an insane crash. We were talking about how great these guys were doing. It's not that they did bad necessarily, just one little mishap in the front ended up taking out really most of the field. I think we're going to have about 10 trucks left, most of them with damage.
I think it was the commentator jinx.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the front of the pack and Sawyer, Blake Filone doing so well at just controlling this. And, man, that was incredible.
But I mean, that's one of the things that excuse me, one of the things that you have to expect at any super speedway race. It takes one bad bump draft can just cause all kind of carnage for everyone.
For sure. We're going to use the in-car camera here with the number 72.
This should be a good view.
Yeah, this is going to be something, because this is from the visor cam, and he was in the back. So we're going to see one heck of a mess up ahead of him coming through turns 3 and 4 here. You see him doing his best to slow down. A little bit of blinking there, but nothing too serious. As actually, it looks like maybe he was... It might have been on our end, actually. I know the smoke does hurt iRacing graphics quite a bit. We'll try and now watch what happens here for Jared Beasley, and then we're going to hopefully continue on with race coverage.
It definitely looks like like Robbie Buckner, Bradley Wilson, they were able to stop and avoid the carnage. They just stopped and let it happen.
Yeah, for sure. They just sat back there, and I think Jared Beasley would have been fine, but he came back up onto the banking, and I think trying to get through the gears is when he lost it. Doesn't look like he's going to have any damage, though. So that's what happened with Jared Beasley. We saw him spun out, and I wasn't sure how he even got in that, because it looked like he was so far back he wasn't going to be in it. So we'll actually go ahead and see what happens here with Mike Bruno. Again, one of the championship favorites, but this isn't for points, thankfully. He's definitely saying thankfully inside his car right now. If that was for points right there, it would definitely not be any kind of good for him. And just, yeah, once again, that bump from the 89 to the 35, nothing Spencer did wrong, just sometimes that gets the truck unsettled when the truck is entering the corner like that, and just a massive pile up in turns 3 and 4. It's going to claim most of the field, but we'll see now who assumes the lead. It's actually going to be Corey Walters who will take the lead over the remaining 9, maybe 10 car field that's still on the lead lap. We're seeing 10 trucks on the lead lap, and then everyone else, either by virtue of that wreck or just mishaps earlier in the event, has fallen at least 1 lap down, if not 2 or 3.
And not to say there was any bad thing about that bump draft of what happened. I mean, it could be, and I've had this happen myself, is right when you're trying to bump draft the car in front of you, they may be moving low. So it could just be a last-minute decision by any of the drivers that could cause a wreck like that.
Yeah, and I just want to back up Blake Filone here real quick. I saw a comment in the chat, which, totally fine. I'm glad you guys are utilizing it. However, just want to shed some light on there with the number 11. I don't think he was trying to come back on the track. I mean, these guys are going almost 200 miles an hour, and when you get shoved down onto the flat there, you're not going to be able to turn. There's no banking. That's the only reason these guys can go so fast in these tight corners. So, I don't think Blake Filone was even trying to come back on the track. I think he was trying to woe it down, but it's so hard to hold it down there on the apron that he couldn't.
A lot of times you're along for the ride.
Exactly, and I think he was really just along for the ride there. But we're coming to the restart here. First caution aside from the stage break that we've had so far tonight. And Corey Walters is going to lead us to the green as we are back underway with 20 laps to go in stage 2.
We got a good jump on that restart, but that could be a bad thing. They could kind of team up behind them and just blow by them.
Yeah, and the one thing to keep in mind here is with this few trucks left, it's going to shake things up. The dynamic of the race is going to change because we see a lot of the guys that were sitting around on the back that are still left who haven't been in the lead yet tonight. I think Blake Falone is the only one really left that's actually mixing it up. Robbie Buckner at some point was as well. Spence Thompson is still barely hanging on. He's got some damage though, I do believe. So it's going to be tough for these guys to catch up to speed. I shouldn't say tough, but it's going to be different from what they've been used to all night. And so they're going to be a little bit more uneasy until they settle in, at least for these first couple of laps. We might see some interesting racing going on at first as we wind the laps down in stage 2.
Yeah, I think a lot of the cars that were involved in the wreck, I think they'll probably be okay in the draft, but I would definitely not want to be behind them if they were leading.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many Talladega races before, Daytona races before as well. If you're a NASCAR fan, we've seen so many where a wrecked car goes on to win this race. I mean, I know at the opening weekend for NASCAR this season at Daytona, both the 41 that won the Daytona 500, Kurt Busch, and the 16 of Ryan Reed that won the Xfinity race were both just beat up.
Like a Martinsville car.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see one of these guys that was involved in that wreck still be able to mix it up. I mean, we see Spence Thompson still, along with Blake Falone, still able to keep up with the field. And if something happens on the last lap where they can take advantage of it, they can easily still win this race.
Exactly. I mean, all you have to do is just stay tucked right behind that car going into the tri-oval. Just make a look, see if you can slingshot on the outside, see if you can beat them to the start-finish line.
For sure, and currently it looks like Tyler Justice going to try and challenge Corey Walters for the lead. He's going to have it that time at the line. He's got the help from Bradley P. Wilson, who has a little bit of help from Jason Alexander and Jared Beasley behind him. So we've got 3 MRM trucks up top, and we know there's a little bit, I wouldn't say of a rivalry between MRM and WFO, but just a little bit of friendly competition definitely goes a long way. And it's interesting to see that the WFO guys haven't gotten lined up in this last little bit of stage 2, but they're working together nicely, and really it's just MRM and WFO that's running anymore for the most part. We see a couple of stragglers of Ken Yance and Blake Falone. Aside from that, I believe it's just MRM and WFO drivers.
Yeah. And that could be a little bit of strategy on Bradley Wilson's part, is breaking up that MR Motorsports group on the high line.
Yeah, I mean, we see it all the time in NASCAR where, like, for example, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was trying to split up the Penske guys.
Exactly.
The Ford's been fast all year in the NASCAR, or Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, and it was just kind of smart at the time to try and break those guys up, and that's what Dale Jr. was trying to do at one point in the race. Obviously he's one of the experts, if not the expert when it comes to plate racing, so, he knows what he's doing, and breaking up a team is certainly a good idea if you're trying to get yourself to the front. So, but currently, I mean, we're seeing 2 teammates battle with another team pushing each one of them. We're seeing WFO push MRM guys up in the lead right now.
Oh, exactly. No, I'm just reading a comment from Michael Redding in the chat.
Well, yeah, I mean, for a little while there got a little ugly, but I think we're bringing it back down. After a few events, we've gotten it all sorted out, but for sure it's definitely been a feud of sorts from Daytona all the way through the 2017 season. But these guys are doing one heck of a job up here, but I think we're actually going to try and get a word with a couple of the guys that got taken out in that earlier wreck. We're going to go through the field here, see who we can talk to. So we're going to try and catch up here with Sawyer Ott, who is just leaving the Infield Medical Care Center. Sawyer Ott, this is Andrew up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
10-4, I got you, bud.
Well, we saw you mixing it up with the best of the best here in the NMNTS Racing Series. Definitely doing one heck of a job in that Pennzoil Chevrolet Silverado. It was really cool to see you and your teammates working together, just controlling this race for really the whole back half of Stage 1 and as much as you could of Stage 2 until that bit of a wreck there. What can you tell us about what happened from your point of view?
Man, it's just a disappointment. Like you said, we drove up to the front, me and my teammates. We were doing everything we could to control that race and dominated that first stage and just setting ourselves up for the end of the race. And yeah, I don't know. 89, he took fault for it. He just tried to, I guess, push me into the corner. He wasn't square. He kind of hooked me in the right rear. And I anticipated. I mean, I saw him in the mirror. He wasn't square, so I kind of anticipated it, and then it hooked left, and it looked like I shot the 11 down the track. He came up into me, and I don't know if y'all saw, but that net code was pretty bad between me and him, like 5 feet between us. But once he, I just got blindsided and flew up in the air, and just it's ended our night. Disappointing. I know this race is just for fun, but man, we had 4 really good trucks. So I got to thank my teammates Wells and Back and Skipper and Aiden Young. I mean, we were working so well together, and just I'm sure everybody's getting frustrated behind us because we were just dominating, and we were planning to do that the rest of the race, but yeah, it wasn't meant to be, man. So it sucks.
For sure. Well, I mean, nothing to be ashamed of. Certainly, if you're planning to run with us next year, hopefully you are. It definitely spells good things for you and everyone you're involved with there for Daytona and Talladega next season. So nothing to be ashamed of. Definitely good to run by you. You got a lot of laps led there, so yeah, I mean, certainly a great run from you, the 35 in the 35, and the rest of your team there. Hopefully, we see you back next year in any races that we run. I don't know if PSI TV is going to be broadcasting any NMNTS events next year, but certainly, hopefully, we are. Aside from that, though, hopefully stick around to watch the race on PSI TV on Facebook, and I will let you catch up with the rest of your team.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, appreciate y'all broadcasting, and I look forward to next season. It's just part of this super speedway deal, Sometimes it's your night, sometimes it's not. So it's just appreciate it, guys. Though.
For sure.
Thank you, Sawyer.
And that was the number 35 of Sawyer Ott. He was working with Aiden Young, Matt Skipper, and Matthew Welsenbach. Skipper and Welsenbach have left the building. We unfortunately can't check in with them after that event, but we'll see if we can check in with another couple of drivers and get their thoughts later on. But currently, what can you tell us about what we were missing? I shouldn't say what we missed, but what went on as we were talking to Sawyer.
But during the interview, the 90 made a heck of a run. He was able to take the lead for a little while, and they kind of singled out the top 4. But the outside line finally caught up, and it looks like Corey just took the lead back away from Robbie Buckner heading onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, there was another league that I ran in with Corey Walters here at Daytona in these same trucks, and he'd only been back for a couple of days back on this iRacing service, and he ended up winning that thing in a 4-wide finish that was reminiscent of 1959 Daytona 500. I mean, it was really insane. So, I mean, he knows how to get it done, be it with the help of teammates or not. Currently, we're seeing some shakeups up on the top side, but Corey Walters working with his teammate Tyler Justice there to control the top line. We see rather 3 WFO associated drivers in the bottom trying to work that bottom side, and actually Siri just tried to come up on my phone. That was interesting, but as we continue on, hopefully this time without Siri, currently, like you said, Corey Walters trying to take command of this race. Robbie Buckner trying to play spoiler as we come around to 8 laps to go in Stage 2.
I think we're going to see things get a little interesting here at the end of this segment. I hope it doesn't get too interesting. We don't have too many trucks left on the track.
For sure. So we have a comment on the stream. Hopefully Daniel Southers, you're still watching. This is on iRacing, so this is a video game of sorts. I know some iRacers would try and burn you at the stake if you called it a game, but this is a video game. When you really break it down, it's pretty much the world's best racing video game, if you ask me, at least the best simulator out there. It's very realistic, and that's why, you know, some leagues decide to hire some people to broadcast their races. Is, you know, it's about as realistic as you can get for a computer, and they're going to wreck it again. Tyler Justice trying to pull a Kyle Busch. He's going to do it.
He saved it. He saved it. Good driving.
That was a piece of driving. That's why Tyler Justice is in the battle for the championship in this series. I mean, and in every series aside from the ARCA series. So actually this and Grand National. So that's exactly why he is regarded as one of the best out here. We'll watch that from his on board here in turns 3 and 4. I mean, that was insane. It really was.
Great job. And I figured when that happened, Corey would lose his drafting partner, and then the 90 and 88 would hook up and blow past. But Corey is actually holding his ground.
Yeah, that was a great piece of driving by Tyler Justice in the number 7 there. Really nice to see him be able to hang on to that instead of lose it and be out of this race. And the good news for him is, you know, there's no points involved, and he'll be able to get right back up into the battle here at the stage end. We do have the lap car of Gordon Larson Jr. working the top side, staying out of the way. As I think we're starting to mention there before you lost your breath. I mean,
I got to remember to breathe.
A bit scary. Yeah, don't forget to breathe or blank. So, but Gordon Larson makes it easy for the leaders to get by, at least as easy as he can. And we're starting to see just one line develop on the bottom side.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Robbie Buckner got hung out to dry up there, or if he's trying to fall back, if he's got some kind of strategy going on.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure exactly what's on his agenda right now, but definitely want to thank all 19 of you currently for coming out and tuning in. Definitely a crazy race so far on hand. Definitely a lot of good racing. I wouldn't even say crazy, actually. It's just been exciting, yeah. Crazy, I think, would refer to the Cup races at Talladega lately, with all those wrecks. And,
our most recent one.
Yeah, for sure. But this has just been downright exciting. Great, respectful racing up in the front. Even with the one big wreck we saw, these guys, I mean, you saw that great piece of driving from Tyler Justice a minute ago. And that's why these guys get broadcasted by No Brakes TV week in, week out. And, you know, I want to thank Bradley Wilson and the NMNTS Racing Series for bringing us on board for a night. Definitely a lot of fun to come out here and see what it's like from the No Brakes TV guys' point of view over these races. It's been a lot of fun so far as we're nearing, it looks like, what is that, 3 or 4 to go left in the stage.
Just took lap 77.
So yeah, we've got 4 to go that time by left in the stage, and we see Bradley Wilson and Robbie Buckner trying to work that top side. Robbie Buckner led practice, led qualifying with the pole, and now we see Spence Thompson going up to the top side, going to try and work with them. I think WFO just figured something out to win the stage.
Just what I was getting ready to say. It looks like those WFO trucks just hooked up on the outside. Let's see what they can do. Corey's done a great job protecting that inside line and kind of catching them in the corners. But Robbie and Spence Thompson are going to have to push really hard. It looks like Bradley got a good car length advantage right now on the high side. I just wonder if they're going to stay high or jump down to block Corey, or if they're trying to bring Spence Thompson along with them.
You know, I really think they're just the WFO guys are going to try and work that top side. I think Blake Falone's going to try and stick to the back end of Corey Walters, but I'm not sure if they're going to make it work, honestly. It's hard once you get a line of guys who are working together on the top side. It's hard to defend the bottom, and I don't think we're going to see Bradley Wilson, Spence Thompson, and Robbie Buckner even leave the top side. I think they're going to stay up there. They know they're going to have these actually.
Well,
Bradley
as
Wilson
we say that.
Wrong. I mean, yeah, he might just be playing Pied Piper
I
now,
think
though,
just
like Dale Jr. normally does in the 88. I think we're going to see a new 88 take the reins here as Pied Piper.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was. He may have just kind of jumped down to the bottom line to see if he can break the momentum, then jump back up to the top side.
For sure. Well, we got 2 to go on the stage this time by. These guys are going to be coming around to 1 to go, I believe, this next time around. Spence Thompson falling back a little bit, maybe with some complications from that wreck earlier. Maybe not running at the temperature he wants it to. You know, I know that's one thing that can be of concern once you get a little bit of damage on your truck here. Definitely a ballsy move there by Bradley Wilson to block that inside line, but now it's going to be even harder for him to win this stage is he's going to have to try and get his teammate Robbie Buckner back up there, as Corey Walters is going to take the lead, I believe, on the bottom side through the tri-oval that time, and he does.
Yeah, if Robbie was a little closer when Bradley came back up, that may have been an advantage, but I think having a 2 or 3 car length gap in between.
But you know what?
Really
as we take
broke
the
the momentum.
white flag on the stage, I do believe these guys, I mean, plain and simple, they've got a huge run coming back on the top side just because of turns 1 and 2, and they're going to be able to continue that through 3 and 4, I think. Even though, actually, Robbie Buckner went to the top side.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to make a
move. He
move.
just kind of missed the corner. But he's back to the back side of the 88, trying to get the 88 up there. They're going to pull to the top side, neutralize the side draft, and
this is going to be
Bradley
close.
Wilson, I think, is going to be your stage winner. He is.
Yes, he is. Ooh. This is just into the stage. Just imagine what the end of the race is going to be like.
Yeah, I really wish we had the whole field left to see what that would be
do
like.
too.
But we're going to have about 10, 11 trucks that'll grid up for the final stage in tonight's run here at Daytona International Speedway, with Bradley P. Wilson, your stage winner. First, though, before we talk to him, we're going to try and bring aside one of the drivers that unfortunately is out of the race.
While you're handling that, I have some business I need to attend it, but I will be right back.
Sounds good. All right, well, as we wait for these guys to get their pit stops out of the way here to end stage 2 and open up stage 3, we're going to try and talk with Derek Robinson. He was kind of riding around just in the number 818 Toyota Tundra, just riding around the back end of the front pack when that caution came out, and took him with it. Unfortunately, now he's out of the race, but we're going to try and get a talk with him. Derek Robinson, this is Andrew from the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Who did he say?
You, man.
What's up?
I mean, we're just kind of watching the show. Unfortunately, you got taken out a little while ago. Definitely, not what we wanted to see for you. But, I mean, I think you're one of the cooler heads over here in the NMNTS Racing Series, and I know for sure that you probably, you're probably disappointed, but you're just fine. Especially because it's fun race. Like I said, probably one of the cooler heads. I'll give you that. I'm kind of struggling for words here. It's been a little while. We've been out here for almost 2 hours, and my throat's starting to get sore. But we'll carry on with the race. Just real quick, want to get your thoughts on that stage and a half that you're out there for. I mean, that's 60 laps. By no means, not helpful as far as next season if you stick around with us in the NMNTS Racing Series for Daytona in 2018. Definitely some learning that you got to do there. What'd you think of the dynamic of the stage racing and just the dynamic of the racing with the drivers overall?
I really enjoyed the first. Like, I didn't realize it was a stage race when I jumped in, and when the caution came up, I was like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. I don't mind it. It's what they're doing in the real world of racing. Yeah, it was a little bit disheartening that we got stuck up in the that accident there earlier, but yeah, that's just part of the gig, right?
Yeah, it's certainly part of restrictor plate track racing here at Daytona and Talladega. Is there anyone you want to thank for your run tonight as you move on in the NMNTS Racing Series? I believe, were you eliminated last week at Charlotte or not?
Negative, I was not.
All right, so you did make it through in the Grand National Chase then?
Yeah, no, I did not make it through into the Grand National Chase. I'm out of that right now. I think I'm in 11th or 12th.
All right, well, I mean, I got to race with you for the first round. We were both eliminated last week at Charlotte. It was nice racing with you there for the first round of the championship playoffs over there in the Grand National Series. I definitely want to congratulate you on making it there. It was definitely one heck of a season for both of us, really. So it was really nice to see you make it in. Other than that, like I said, is there anyone you want to thank for your run tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the HRL boys. We all had a pretty good little nose to tail run going on there for the first 57 laps before that one caution. But yeah, we were running pretty good. We got into our particular spots that we wanted to, and everybody was nose to tail running really good. I'd like to also thank all the boys that are doing everything with this league, like Kenneth Yance and yourself quite a bit, and with all your paint jobs that you're giving away as prizes and whatnot. I think that's an awesome idea, and all of the hero cards that I've been hearing about. I really like that idea as well. Other than that, yeah, it's been a lot of fun racing with the NMTS boys this year. I've been in two series with them, well, 3 off and on, and yeah, it's been a great learning experience, and I enjoy racing with everybody.
For sure. Well, be wishing you the best of luck tomorrow night at Kansas Speedway. That'll be broadcast once again, like I said earlier, by No Breaks TV. Real quick though, I'm gonna move you back down so we can get a couple words with stage winner Bradley Wilson. Definitely nothing to be ashamed of there, Derek, tonight, and hopefully we see you tomorrow night do some good things in that number 818 Toyota Camry.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good night.
And real quick, we're going to get a couple of words with Bradley Wilson. Bradley, this is Andrew from the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, 10-4, I got you.
I know it's cutting a little bit close here before the race goes back green, but first off, congratulations on winning Stage 2. Definitely took control of those last few laps there with Robbie Buckner and Spence Thompson helping you out. Are you looking to kind of get in the line with those guys again here in Stage 3?
Oh yeah, you know the WFO horsepower's been great tonight. Yeah, Robbie's a big part of getting me that stage win there. Can't thank him enough. We're gonna see what happens here. You know, we got up 15. We'll have about 15, 14 to go when we come back. So you can imagine that the 88, 90, and 89 gonna try to hook up here and see what we can't do.
For sure. Well, like I said, congratulations on that big Stage 2 win. It's not for points, but it's still a big momentum creator, if you will, going into the back end of this season in 2017 and the start of next season in 2018. Definitely got to be motivating, and we'll let you get back to your day job here, trying to win Stage 3 and the race overall. We'll be watching for you.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
Look.
Thanks.
Oh, he was talking as I moved him back down. That wasn't intentional. Bradley will watch this back, and I apologize for that one, Brad. But anyways, as we come getting ready through turns 3 and 4 with 1 to green, getting ready for Stage 3, we have, looks like about 15 laps to go. Yes, we're going to have 15 laps to go at time of green, so it's going to be a 15-lap Stage 2. Officially, it's 20 laps, but 5 of those laps were taken up by the caution.
Have Blake Falone leading us to the start.
That is Blake Falone. We're going to go on board with him after we get our digger cam in once more. Digger cam sitting in the tri-oval right at the start-finish line. Also got one in turns 1 and 2 as the field comes by. Like Terry said, green flag back in the air.
Levin's got a good restart. Bradley Wilson is pushing him. Got Jared Beasley behind Bradley, just push. Upside, got Corey. Robbie is just pushing Corey, trying to catch back up with that leader group.
Yeah, and it looks like Bradley Wilson is looking to stick with Blake Falone for now. We see Bradley Wilson get his nose right up to our camera on the lower rear bumper of the number 11 truck. Got one of those cameras on every truck here tonight. And as we come through turns 3 and 4, Jared Beasley going to mix it up, try and get to the lead this time. I'm not even sure where he restarted, but it actually was 4th place. It certainly was not first, and he's going to have the lead coming through the tri-oval. Jared Beasley put him P1.
Yeah, he made a good move on the back straightaway when he saw the high line was coming. He jumped up and caught that draft, and they were able to push him to the front. We are running 3 wide for 4th, 5th, and 6th right now.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the more sketchy moves out here tonight so far in the race. We haven't seen a lot of 3 wide, but we saw it there. We saw Jason Alexander trying to work the top side around Robbie Buckner. I guess Jared Beasley made that work on Corey Walters, and his teammate Jason Alexander was trying to follow. Didn't work out, though. He and Tyler Justice decided to back out of it. Just play the safe game for now. There's still 14 laps to go, and while that may not sound like much, if we're at a place like Martinsville or Bristol, that's a lot of time here at Daytona International Speedway.
Oh, definitely. You're looking at it takes about like 46, 47 seconds to run a lap around.
Yeah, not to mention, you know, it's basically 5 laps at Martinsville or Bristol in distance. Maybe not in time, but in distance at least per lap here at Daytona. So, you know, really this would be more...
we're wrecking on the back straightaway.
And that's going to be a big one. I'm not sure if anyone's going to get through that without much damage. Bradley Wilson's backed into the fence pretty hard.
Yes. Robbie Buckner, Bradley Wilson, Corey. A lot of cars were out.
And I think we might have seen Jared Beasley get just about the worst of that, but I could be very, very wrong.
I saw him go airborne.
Yeah, we're going to go back and... Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't think that 114 is going to be continuing on with much luck at all. He was on his lid, head on in the fence and everything. That's going to be a tough one for that 114, but we'll try and get a look back at what happened there. Coming down the back straightaway, we were mentioning, you know, Jared Beasley making that amazing move to get to the lead. And then it looks like maybe Corey Walters cutting it a little bit too close on Jared Beasley's back end. Maybe not exactly knowing just where he was. And I think he might have been getting shoved up into the 114 inadvertently by Robbie Buckner. That's going to really finish off most of the field. We're not going to have many trucks left running at all.
Yeah, these guys, they were beating and banging on each other's bumpers coming out of the corner. That's dangerous place because that's right where your truck is starting to settle when you're coming out of the corner, so it just takes the slightest little push can move you. I believe I just heard over the radio Tyler Justice actually made it through that carnage. Looks like right now in our lead we'll have Kenneth Yuntz in first, Thompson in second, Tyler Justice will be third.
Yeah, I'm working on getting us another replay of that. Camera wasn't wanting to cooperate there for just a second, but we got it figured out. Jason Alexander certainly got a huge piece of damage there. We'll try and see what happens to him here. Down the back straightaway, he ends up collecting Robbie Buckner as he comes back spinning. Robbie Buckner went upside down and everything. We're only going to have about 7 laps to go, so this is going to be one heck of a shootout to the end. Let's try and watch this from Spence Thompson's point of view. We saw Corey Walters go for a spin there as well. And he was able to just barely keep it off of the inside wall, but we saw Bradley Wilson make severe contact with the inside wall there down the back straightaway. Not sure what that's going to spell as far as damage for his truck, but we'll skip back here if we can. I mean, that's... You can see it here from the camera in turn 3, looking straight down the back straightaway. That's one heck of a wreck right there, but we saw a few trucks actually get through, like you mentioned. Ken Yance, Tyler Justice, Spence Thompson all made it through without any involvement in that, and we're still going to have Gordon Larson Jr. and some others continuing on.
That is a good camera angle. Definitely see a lot of action.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to take one more look back since we were just talking about Bradley Wilson winning stage 2. We're going to just try and check in on him, see exactly what kind of damage he got. He's going to back it into the fence. It's probably not going to be that bad of damage, actually. I would guess he should be able to continue on and at least keep speed in the draft.
Kind of look at his
going to have, like I said, about 8 laps to go.
Looking at his car right now as he's pulling out of the pits in front of the front end of the car. Actually looks pretty decent, at least from my vantage point. He got a couple crinkles on the right fender.
Yeah, the damage is going to be on that right rear, but my concern, he's got a little bit of right front damage actually as well, but my concern is backing the truck into the fence could also mess with some of the mechanics under the hood, the drivetrain and such, and that could take some horsepower away from his truck. It looks like Blake Falone is actually quite injured here. He's kind of holding up Bradley Wilson as they come around to catch the field, but currently we're talking about Ken Yance. He's never won here at all, I don't think, unless he got something when I wasn't paying attention. He's never won. He's put on he's really put a lot of money into the series. He and John Barron both are spearheading next season's operations here in the SimSpec Monday Night Thunder Championship Series, and I mean, he's one of the driving forces behind the league, so it's nice to see him getting out here, getting some TV time, maybe get the win as well.
Oh yeah, and I'm checking out the paint scheme on that truck too. That's very sweet.
Yes, it's a very nice looking number 72 Toyota Tundra he's got there for next season. And like we see Robbie Buckner putting in the chat, we've got almost 30 viewers on here right now. That's awesome, actually.
Wow, that's great. Thank you guys.
Robbie Buckner commenting on our stream saying Robbie's mission is done. That's definitely unfortunate to see, but he put on one heck of a show for us all.
Yes, he did. It was great watching him. What I'm amazed at is our first caution where we had Spence Thompson. He is now up to second place.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to have such luck, and Bradley Wilson, I think, just got caught behind the pace car. We'll see. He might have just made it out. I think he just made it out ahead of the pace car. That was very close.
Very.
We've got 1 to green right now here, Terry, and we only see 5 trucks on screen as we watch these guys. This is looking more and more like that Talladega race now.
Isn't it?
Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. They only had 14, which was a record low since, I believe, the 1980s, or earlier even, in the Cup Series. But nonetheless, we're going to have a field here. No matter how small it is, I think we actually might get some trucks catching back up as we speak. I know Bradley Wilson, Blake Falone were trying to get back up to the field. So we'll see what that has in store for us, but currently, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a very small field for this restart.
The only bad thing about having a small field, that limits the amount of trucks you can work with to make a pass.
Yeah, I think immediately we're going to see Ken Yance get the lead because, there's no one behind Spence Thompson to get him into the lead. He has no help.
Spence he is stuck in a bad situation.
But the good news for him is he can try and pull in behind Tyler Justice as these guys go by. And we're going to have some more trucks. Jason Alexander catching up. I don't think it's going to be enough for Spence, though. It's going to be tough for him to be able to work this thing to his advantage. I think it's going to be mostly a 72-7 battle. The green flag is out, and we are back underway for the final 9-8 laps.
Oh, we got Kenneth is in the lead. He's got Tyler pushing, and Jason Alexander jumped to the inside and left Spence Thompson. Spence just kind of forced it down there.
Spence made a heck of a move there. I think we're going to have a 4-truck train. Gordon Larson Jr., Jared Weasley are trying to hang on to the back. I'm not sure if they'll be able to. They both have damage. And this is going to be interesting. We'll see if the 5 can keep pace to help that 89 out. I'm not sure if Tyler Justice is going to leave the 72 until the last lap, though. I know they are definitely pretty close as Ken Yance sponsors his truck. So I don't know if Tyler is going to be too keen on leaving him just yet.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them work with each other until the last corner.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely expect Tyler Justice to stick his front end to his sponsor's back end and just try and keep him out front here. It just seems a little bit more logical, I'd say.
Exactly. Spence Thompson, though, doing all that front end damage, he is doing a good job staying caught up with Tyler and Ken. That again, he's probably really good in the draft, but if he jumps out trying to make a pass, if he gets any help, I'm curious to see what kind of momentum he'll be.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult for him to make anything happen because, as we've well documented, he has no help. aside from the 72 and the 7, who are, probably working against him. Actually, we see Tyler Justice to the outside. That's going to open up room for Spence Thompson. If he can work the draft and get back behind Ken, Tyler's going to be sandbagging, I think. He isn't, actually. Spence is going to get right back to the back end of Ken Yance. This changes everything we were just talking about as far as who's going to work with who.
I know. I expected that to happen a little later in the race, not right then.
For sure, but I don't think Tyler was trying to do that. I think he just washed up a little bit out of 4 and didn't have much of a choice.
I'm just curious if...
Go ahead.
I'm just curious if Tyler fell back. That way he would have Spence to kind of help him. If Spence looks on the outside in that last lap, Tyler may be able to jump up with Spence and take the lead.
The only thing there is if Tyler pushes Spence up into the lead out of turn 4, which is where the move would be made, that's pushing Spence to the win, and Tyler's not going to get a whole lot out of it, considering there's no points involved. Right? Why run second when you can go out there and try and win this thing,
That is true, but I'm just kind of thinking, Tyler's knowing that Spence has that front end damage, he may be a little easier to pass.
Tyler's definitely playing with the air a little bit. That's something that we see a lot of iRacers do. I think we have more confidence considering this is a simulator. As we see, actually, we're seeing some more trucks get into the mix here.
They have called Jason
Gordon
Alexander.
Larson Jr. and Jason Alexander catching up to the back end of Tyler Justice, like you said there, Terry.
They're all line 5 in a row. No one's making any moves right now. I think they're all just going to try to fill out each other, see who's going to go with who. Vince is just pushing Kenneth down the front straightaway.
Yeah, I don't think any allegiances are going to be broken here as we go with the camera off the back side of the roof of the number 72, looking back at the defending NMNTS Thunder champion Spence Thompson. He's trying to work with Tyler Justice maybe to make a move, or trying to work with Ken Yance to just stay where he is until the last lap. I'm not sure what. I would assume Spence will keep it in line and then try and get Tyler to go with him out of turn 4 on the final lap. That just seems more logical, if anything.
That's what I would think.
But the 5 and the 7 are looking to maybe mount a run, and there they go.
5 and 7 are teammates, so I definitely expect those two to stay together.
And clearly the 5 still has something. I think he was just trying to get Gordon Larson back up into this thing, but that was a heck of a move. Ken Yance and Spence Thompson, I guess, for lack of a better word, squashing the run that Tyler Justice and Jason Alexander had there. So that keeps the 72 and the 89 alive. Spence almost had something crazy on the mind there, as Ken Yance is going to continue to block. I think he wants this win.
Tyler is pushing Jason to the front.
And, I mean, just something about the way the 72 is running tells me he just might want the win,
Oh, yeah.
Ken is definitely doing what he can, but it looks like those guys are actually going to clear Ken, possibly. Looks like Spence dropped the ball a little bit down the back straightaway, but 2 to go this time by. Everything has led up to this. The previous 98 laps have come down to 5 trucks battling for the win here at the end. Those are Jason Alexander, Tyler Justice, Spence Thompson, Kenneth Yance, Gordon Larson Jr., and Blake Falone. But actually, Blake Falone, is 14 seconds back of these guys. The top 5 there being rounded off by Gordon Larson. Ken Yance is definitely trying. Not Gordon Larson. Jason Alexander tried to move down and block Ken.
3-way for the lead.
Yeah, Jason tried to move down and block Ken, and that might be what locks the win up for Kenneth Yance if Spence can really get to the back end of him here. It's going to be hard to make anything happen now.
Hey, the way this race is going, Gordon may be in the perfect spot if these guys all wad him up in the corners.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to see him move until turn 4 here, and that's if Jason Alexander in the 5 decides to follow the 89 of Spence Thompson out of turn 4.
The 5 just got turned.
And I was just saying I'd expect him to go with Spence Thompson if he makes a move. Now, it's going to be a matter of whether or not Tyler follows Spence or pushes his sponsor to the win. It's going to be something else right here. They're coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Spence goes high. Tyler's going to stick low with Ken Yance. Ken Yance drag racing Spence Thompson to the win. It's Kenneth Yance with the win.
Congratulations, Ken.
I'll tell you what, I mean, that's one heck of a run for a guy like Ken. I think everyone's going to like to see him get that win.
Oh, definitely. I love listening to Ken on the radio, too.
For sure. I was really hoping Ken would lend his voice to the broadcast tonight, helping me out, but now I see why he didn't. He went and just, I mean, an incredible run by him to go and get that win. You know, he did everything he had to do, especially in that last little bit there, racing with Tyler Justice and Spence Thompson, really two of the favorites to win this year's championship, and he goes toe-to-toe with them, doesn't back down, and wins this thing.
Yes, he did an awesome job. Sometimes, you know, when you're in the front, you got to make that bumper as wide as you can.
And we're going to see one heck of a burnout, I think, right here by Ken Young.
Oh, definitely. I was just watching his victory lap.
I don't think there's a single disappointed NMNTS member right now. That's got to be probably the fan favorite win of the season, if not
definitely
of a lot longer than that. That is great to see for Ken Yons. I mean, like I was just saying, he's really one of the fan favorites here. He puts a lot of money and hard work and effort into this series, into this league as a whole. And it's really cool to see him go out here and get this win, and now it looks like he's going to do a Polish victory lap. That's a cool move, too. Actually, he's going to pull it in the pits here.
Hey, he's got the victory. He can burn that car down.
Well, we're going to try and get Ken Janssen here. He actually just connected to TeamSpeak. Going to give these drivers just a second to soak in what just went down there over the course of 100 laps. 3 stages. It's actually, I believe, the first NMNTS hosted event with stages, so it's a big test for these guys as we head into the end of 2017 and the beginning of 2018, and we're going to get third place finisher Tyler Justice up in the booth. Tyler, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, you had that great save in Stage 2 after that big wreck. It really looked like Kyle Busch a few years back, and I tell you what, I think that's why you're one of the favorites to win this year's championship, and you showed again why you are in the position you're in, working the draft with Spence Thompson and Ken Yance to go up there and get third place, pushing your sponsor to the win. I'd say that's a good way to secure your job for 2018.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun race there. Like you said, in Stage 2, we were coming around. I was on the outside for most of that part coming to the end of Stage 2 and was trying to get past the leader to try to duck down on the low line, but it just wasn't working. But we finally got past him a little bit. I cleared Robbie just enough to jump down there. When I did, it was close, but got touched just a little bit, and that was my fault anyway. But spun it on the apron, almost spun around, but saved it, and got back in the going there. And then on that last lap right there, was coming up, and I ducked out to push Spence around Ken to the outside, and I was trying to figure out if I was going to go down to the bottom or the top to make it 3 wide to try to get the win. And I tried to go low because I thought Kenneth was going to come up and try to block Spence, and I could have got that low lane right there and made it 3 wide on him, but didn't work out. But like you said, we pushed Ken to the win. It's good to see him get the win, so pretty cool. Congrats to him, and yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good night overall.
For sure. Well, you know, obviously we mentioned Ken being your sponsor. Is there anyone you want to thank? Obviously, probably him. But is there anyone else you want to thank there tonight?
Yes, sir. I want to thank Kenneth as always. I want to thank John Barron. Thank my sponsor, SimSpec, for being on the car every week. I want to thank all my teammates, and I want to thank Bradley for the league, and you up in the booth. Did a great job with it.
All right, well, thank you. I'll move you back up there, let you catch up with your team and debrief. Definitely a great run from you tonight. We'll hopefully get to broadcast another race from this league and catch up with you then.
I'd appreciate it.
And now, Terry, I'll let you pull in second place finisher Spence Thompson.
Fish though.
Hi, Spence. This is Terry up in the PSI booth. How are you doing tonight?
Feeling pretty good, Terry.
And congratulations on the second place finish. We were kind of wondering how your car would handle after the first caution.
Yeah, we kind of got dinged up a little bit right there. I mean, at one point it seemed like we were going to be able to make it through, and then I think Aiden spun back up onto the track after contact with the 11 again, and like I said, just barely tagged him with the right front corner of the car. So it kind of dinged up the nose just a little bit. It left us with 25 seconds of optional repairs, but figured we'd go back out there and see kind of what the car could do, see if it could hang on to the draft. And it actually hung on to the draft very, very well. I was quite surprised actually with how good it kept up, but we're kind of able to make a few moves out there. Weren't able to really pull out and pass people with ease though, like we were at the beginning of the run. But like I said, we're able to hang on to the draft, try to help some guys, and then maybe get up there. And then that final wreck happened, which was just crazy. And we were somehow able to snake our way through that and end up in the top 3 and be able to follow Ken for the remainder of that deal.
So, did you think you were going to have a chance to get by Ken with the front end damage you had?
Well, the only way that it was going to happen was with some help, man. Ain't nobody going to be able to pull out and pass without some help. But, I mean, I figured we could have a slight shot at it. I was surprised that Tyler wasn't sticking with. I mean, he stuck with us at the end a little bit there, but I mean, he was banking on it. You know, Ken going up to block me at the end, and then him making it 3 wide on the bottom, and that was kind of his plan there. And it kind of didn't work out the way that he wanted to it, but like I said, I mean, I'm pumped for this, man. I mean, I was totally surprised that we were able to come back from a lap down. Kenneth as well, he was able to come back from a lap down and win the whole thing. But I mean, these guys worked their butts off tonight, man. We put together a really good run at the end, and I couldn't be more happier. I mean, I would have liked to be able to get him at the line at the end, but I mean, still was decent finishing it, and we had fun tonight.
You guys definitely put on an exciting show for us all tonight. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Got to thank my team owner, Bradley Wilson, all the guys on the WFO Motorsports team, and all the support from American Revolutionary Clothing, Motor Sim Racing Association, and big shout out to Kenneth Yance there to get that win there today, man. I mean, if anyone deserves one, it's him, and he did a spectacular job at the end, fending guys off and driving his butt off in that race. And tell you what, I got to give a big tip of the hat to him because he gave me this opportunity with this American Revolutionary Clothing sponsorship show. Gotta say thanks to all the guys from their support from there, and then like I said, thanks again to all the guys on the WFO Motorsports number 89 team, and big shout out to Kenneth Yance on that win today. He definitely deserves it.
I agree. With the Spence, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And finally, we're going to get a chance to talk with race winner Kenneth Yance. Kenneth Yance, this is Andrew up in the PSI TV booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Andrew.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was hoping earlier you were going to lend your voice to our cause here at PSI TV, but now I can see why you decided to stay in and tough it out. You were 1 lap down, but you came back and won this whole thing, and I tell you what, that was a great drive at the end there by you. And just first off, congratulations on the win. What can you tell us about just what was going through your mind there at the end?
Well, that lap down was by design, man. With stage racing, I just figured I'd fall to the back, and I mean, I was going to just make sure I got the lucky dog on that first caution, and then just do it the same the second set, and then race that last 20, man, and that kind of got me up there towards the front, and that wreck happened, and I kind of split that. Felt like Kaz Gralla there, man, going straight to the front. But Spence and Tyler, man, I tell you what, it's rough having them two in your mirror. They're scary back there. Those boys are fast. Yeah, they're fast. But I'm glad to put that NMNTS 2018 Thunder Series truck in the winner's circle tonight. It was a blast, man. Thank you for broadcasting.
Yeah, no problem. It was definitely an honor to capture your first win here in the NMNTS on screen. That's definitely really cool. I know you're definitely one of the fan favorites, so there can't be a disappointed soul in the NMNTS as a whole after tonight. That's definitely really cool to see you get that win with all the money, of course, the support, the effort, and the graphic work you do as well. With that truck and the logo, it all looks great. It's got to be satisfying to see the fruits of your labor pay off here with this win. It's definitely, like I said, got to be gratifying. Definitely really cool to see you get the win from a fan and a driver standpoint. So, is there anyone else that you want to thank tonight?
Man, I want to thank John Barron. He makes it all possible with SimSpec and the sponsors that we bring on. You know, he's a big push to bring those new sponsors every time. He brought Foot Skills, and Traders Exchange is coming on for next season, and he brought Revolutionary Clothing onto Spence's truck. So I definitely want to thank him and thank SimSpec and thank Revolutionary Clothing and Traders Exchange and Foot Skill Apparel. Bradley for the great league he puts on, man, and thank you for the broadcast. Missed you out on the track tonight, though.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it was definitely worth it sitting out that 100 laps to see you come back from a bit of adversity, even by design, to come and get this win tonight. Once more, congratulations, and I'll let you go catch up with anyone you choose, your team, friends, whoever. I mean, at this point, you got the right to catch up with anyone. So definitely a great win from you tonight, and hopefully in the future we get to catch up with you in future events.
Thanks, man. You have a good night.
Congrats on your win, Ken.
Thanks, Terry.
And once more, that was race winner Kenneth Yance, the number 72 SimSpec Thunder Championship Series truck. Really is, a class act in every single way. That's why he's a fan favorite. That's why he does what he does, and that's why we appreciate him so much. So, just want to congratulate him once more. Just really, really cool to see him get that win. He's been fighting so long, between all three series, and he finally got it done.
Definitely was well deserved. This could be good momentum though for when we from 2018 series.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at this from a driver and team standpoint as a momentum builder. There's only a few races left in the Truck Series, along with the Grand National Series and the ARCA Series, but I mean, this is going to be a huge momentum builder for every single team out there, because this is obviously where the season starts. So if you get momentum now on this kind of track, you're going to have momentum when the season starts, and that's got to be the most important thing. Is you want to come in with an idea of what you're doing and the ability to go win races. So I know, as not to my own horn, but as the winner of the season opener in NMNTS this season in the Truck Series at the same track, I know it was definitely huge for me to go out there and get that win, and I can only imagine how he feels and how everyone else feels, just running good tonight. So with that said, I think we're gonna go ahead and close up shop. It's been a great 2 hours here with you, Terry. I definitely appreciate you for coming up once more. Appreciate you more than ever. My throat is definitely feeling it, and I can only imagine how it would feel if I'd done this whole thing on my own. So definitely got to appreciate you. Got to give a shout out to our own partners with 5 Star Drafting Incorporated, Pit Stop Insider, TN Designs, Diamond Gusset Jeans, WD-40, Scout Brotherton Images, and Oliver Mobile Fleet Repair. There's a plethora of partners coming on board, and we really appreciate it. It's only been a couple of months since we've been going, but we're already nearing 500 likes on Facebook. So if you haven't already given us a like on Facebook, go to facebook.com/pitstoptv / and definitely give us a like, support us in every way you can. Give us a review even, that definitely helps as well, and refer us to friends and leagues. I mean, anything helps in any way, shape, or form. So definitely give us a check out. This will be more than likely uploaded to YouTube in a couple of days as an archive, but we all obviously want to prioritize our Facebook page first and foremost. So with all that said, that was definitely tough to get out in 1 or 2 breaths there, but once more I want to thank Terry Mason for coming up, even with the inclement weather in his area. Thank you for coming up, Terry, and hopefully you come up for future broadcasts.
Oh, I enjoy this. I don't know which is harder though, actually out there racing or being up here trying to think of things to say. So hopefully next time I'll be a little prepared. I was not really prepared to do it tonight, but I do appreciate you having me, and a lot of fun.
Hey, well, you did a great job, and it's always, like I said, an honor to have you up here. So with that said, I'm gonna sign off for Pit Stop Insider TV. This has been Andrew Cardinale and Terry Mason up in the booth. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Even if it was just for 5 minutes, checking us out, really do appreciate it. Everything matters. So with that said, once more, we're going to close down shop for the night. Everyone have a great night, and we will catch up with you next time. I think Thursday we have the All-Star Sim Racing Manifold Truck Series from Texas, so you can check us out there next. That's Thursday, October, I believe, 26th. So, yeah, once more, I'm going to close up shop. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night, and this has been PSI TV.